Hey everybody, my name is Nozibele Kamganamayaba. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Guys, it's been a tough couple of weeks. As of the title of this video, I wanted to share my mom's journey surviving COVID. Okay. So 2 weeks ago, my mom calls me and says she's not feeling well. But I'll be very honest, when she called me, I'm like, it's one of those. Mama, as you can imagine, she's very animated, and that's where I got all of this from. Every month, Mama needs to go to the doctor. Mama does not have any underlying issues, no heart disease, she's not diabetic, or anything like that. But every month, she needs to go and get an injection. I don't even know what the injection is for. We often joke about how the doctor probably injects her with water because it's like just a state of mind, right? So I'm thinking to myself, it's one of those things, it's the end of the month, she has money, she wants to go to the doctor. So I tell her, no, you can go to the doctor, it's fine. Also, let me say, this is the very same person, I think about a year ago, Mama comes back and she's like, no, I just came back from the clinic, the guys there are saying I'm diabetic. I'm like, you diabetic? And now she's going to start the treatment, Emma. And I'm like, Ma, I don't think you're diabetic. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but can you get like a second and a third opinion? But she's very adamant that she needs to start the treatment as soon as possible. So for a couple of months, Umama was taking a treatment as someone who's diabetic, only like 6 months to 7 months later, when she went to another doctor, and the doctor was like, okay, what medication is Umama taking? So my brother tells him, and he does a few tests, and he's like, but Umama is not diabetic. Why is she taking diabetes? And that's when she stopped taking diabetic pills. This is the very same person also who knows all the doctors in Port Elizabeth. Because galok ingxaki, if you as a doctor, you give umama 1 pill short, okay, or you did not inject her, it's gonna be a problem, and she is probably not gonna see you for the next 6 months, she's going to go to another doctor, or she meets someone ebasini, while going to town. They're talking very casually, or she overhears someone talking about a doctor that just opened a surgery, not very far from us. Jonga, Mama doesn't waste any time. She's going to go to that doctor, even if there's nothing wrong with her. So when she calls me, I'm thinking to myself, it's one of those, I don't need to worry about it. It's okay. Yeah, Mom? My mind, guys, she comes back and she's like, no, she's not feeling the medication that she got. She's going to go to another doctor. She goes to another doctor, same thing. The medication is not working. I'm still feeling some kind of way. And then she says, I think I have COVID. But then once again, we're thinking, Mama exaggerates everything. Yeah, man. And I'm getting annoyed because you can't self-diagnose. And also, I'm quite far. So I'm getting a little bit like agitated and worried about, Ma, there's people that have COVID for real. Yeah, man. You can't just throw those type of things in the air. Yeah, man. Until you get tested and a positive test comes out, then you do not have COVID. Yeah. Anyway, by Saturday, she's like, no, call your brother and ask your brother to take me to another doctor. But then what is different this time around, she keeps on saying she's feeling some kind of pressure on her chest. And she's struggling to breathe. So I'll call my brother and says, listen, take her to that other doctor. And unfortunately, when they arrived there, the surgery was closed. It appears that the doctor did not open on Saturdays. So they promised each other that they're gonna go the following day. Sunday, my brother goes and takes my mom and goes to the same, surgery. So the doctor is like, okay, the one issue that I have is that oxygen levels are quite low. she needs oxygen as soon as possible. Yeah, one. I think they were about at 60%. Yeah, one oxygen levels like. And it's like I'm also not sure about the COVID. And unfortunately though, because it's Sunday, yeah, man. The place that we usually work with is closed. Yeah, man. So the best thing I can do now is one, Umama needs oxygen, so she needs to be admitted to hospital. And so that they can give her the oxygen she needs, and also they will need to test for a COVID. A number of things that I was concerned about. One, unfortunately, I cannot go to Port Elizabeth. The president had made it clear that anyone who travels from Gauteng to any other province only needs to travel on the basis of work. And they also need to have a permit. So what frustrates me is that I can't be there. And obviously I admit that there's a level of control that I want to have over the situation. Opodwam is more calm. Even when he sent me the message that Umama needs to be admitted, he casually just says on WhatsApp, don't panic, Umama is fine, he just needs oxygen and they're admitting her to hospital. And I'm like, you do realize how all of these things are contradicting each other, right? So I call him and I'm like, but do you, there's no way you can say Mama is fine, or the situation is not bad, when then she's being admitted to hospital and she needs oxygen, So I'm getting frustrated because I cannot be physically there, and also even if there was a way that I could travel, I would probably get COVID. I would probably get infected on my way to Port Elizabeth, making the situation even worse. Other thing that I'm getting frustrated about is that even if I could go to Port Elizabeth or be there physically, I can't. It's month end at work and I can't take time off. There's reports that need to be submitted and there's no way to go around it. It's a really difficult period because I'm trying to manage the situation the best way I can while the world is continuing as normal. I remember at one point I broke down. I was finishing up a report and I was crying. I couldn't hold it in. I was on a Microsoft Teams meeting and thank goodness my camera was off. And I muted myself, but I was bullying myself. Guys, it was really, really bad. And there were a couple of book orders that I needed to complete. I was signing them, packaging them, need to go to the couriers. I was crying my eyes out. It was such a difficult thing to do. The other thing that I was worried about is Umama being admitted to hospital. If you've been following me for quite some time, I remember when I was sharing probably around the black tax video and I was sharing about, there was one conversation that I had with Umama when she was retiring from work. So e-government, I'm not sure whether they've revised this now or it's something that was happening a couple of years ago. But when you retire, they give you a certain portion of your money. And then they basically pay you still every month. And then you get to keep your benefits. And now Umama was like, nope, I am not going to get a certain portion of my money. I want all of my money, and for that reason, I'm going to take the resignation option. So instead of retiring, she's now resigning. So with resigning, she gets all her money that she had worked for over the years. But the difficult and the challenge with that is that she forfeits all of her benefits, including medical aid. Now I'm having a discussion with her. I'm like, lady, I don't think this is a good idea. Because galoko, I'm not going to be able to pay your medical aid. Umama at the time was 65. In medical aid for old people is quite expensive. For example, I pay about 2.6 for only myself. With a certain medical aid. Usku pays more or less the same amount. I remember when we were thinking of, an option of adding a child within our medical aid. it was about, I think, 1.7. Guys, that is that is quite a lot of money. That's about 8,000 rand. And now having to probably add another, what, 2,000 rand or 2.5, yeah, one for my mom, that's close to about 10k a month just on a medical aid, yeah, one. And I've been very transparent in terms of the responsibilities that I have at home, yeah, one. I pay for my mom's house. I take care of her and the girls, making sure, you know, they have things, they have food and all of that. So an added financial strain, I cannot afford. Like, I'm gonna be very, I simply cannot afford. Yeah, man. So I told them, like, this is not a good idea. I think you should take, you know, the retirement option so that you can keep all your benefits. Yeah, man. But obviously, mama get being mama, she was like, no, I want my money and I'm taking the resignation. So years later, she doesn't have any medical aid. And now being admitted to hospital means she's going to be admitted to a state hospital. And you know, I guess the perception around these state hospitals, they're under-resourced, the staff doesn't care, they're overburdened and all of that, yeah, man. So that's why there was a bit of a hesitation from her in terms of going to the hospital, because there's also this thing, man, if you go to the hospital, you don't come back. Yeah, but so she doesn't want to go to the hospital. But in this case, she doesn't have a choice because once again, the oxygen levels are bad. So we don't have a choice. I'm scared as well, because also this particular hospital has years of, you know, bed press around the treatment that patients get and all of that. So I reached my breaking point, and upon reaching my breaking point, I go on social media and I basically just ask for prayers. Yeah, man. And there is a friend of mine, Yabonosis Lalidokwe, that calls me immediately and just wants to find out, am I okay? Is everyone fine? And I tell her that Mama has now been diagnosed with the COVID. So upon giving her ilantuga oxygen, also they tested her for COVID and the test came out positive. Guys, in the COVID is quite difficult because medical practitioners are doing their level best to make sure that they contain the virus. So in hospital, if one of your people gets admitted, chances are of seeing them is when they get discharged. Mama can't have a phone because she's sick, so I don't expect her to, you know, update us every now and then in terms of what is happening or what is her report. So when she got admitted, that was it. We do not know any nurses, no doctors. So when I'm speaking to Sis Lali, she says, no man, reach out to Dr. Tebelele. I only know Dr. Tebelele like on the radio. Yes, I've spoken to him once or twice, but it's not like I can call her and say, like, can you help? Because I don't want to come across as like, you know, my mom wanting special treatment and stuff like that. But it's just like, it's like, no, man, he's like really a good person. Just call him and see what he can do. I call it Dr. Tebelele and I'm like, I need your help, doc. Umama is in hospital and we do not know what is going on. Now, this is the second day. Opud is basically camping outside the hospital, but he doesn't have any report. So Doc Nyani calls another doctor, that goes and checks on Umama. Gives us a report about no, Umama, yes, has COVID, had difficulty breathing, but they've given her oxygen and they're giving her all the necessary medication, to basically deal with the infection. Uzaba right. So I'm like, okay, how long is she going to stay in hospital? She's like, hey, I don't know, Nozi. We're gonna have to take it one day at a time. Okay, no problem. Guys, the following day, it seems like things are getting better. Eventually, my brother was able to like snuggle Umama's phone, to her. So I'm able to call her, and she can speak, but yeah, I'm in oxygen, but I'm getting a little bit better. Don't worry, and stuff like that. So Umama was admitted Sunday, and by Wednesday, I get a call very early in the morning. Mama is like, Naze, can you please tell you that this doctor's man, I'm going home. And I'm like, ma, like you can't go home. And you still under a medication, you still need to recover. So what do you mean by we are ending? No, Naze, funeke ndihambe ndiye endlini nam. I'm not going to stay. Andihlala apha. I'm not going to stay here. So xelela abayezitshomi zakho zogqirha ba mabisuselele le nto ka le drip ilapha engalweni yam okanye bachazele mna bana ndandisebenza empilweni ndandisebenza esibhedlele so ukhupha idrip isendele uba ayondingula pha kum yakhupha ngoku so abayikhuphi ndizayikhupha bachazele uba ndiyahamba ngoku. Hey guys, I'm thinking to myself, what the hell is happening ngoku? And then so I call one of the doctors, the one that helped me. I'm like, doc, what is going on? And she was on another ward and she's like, no, I'm gonna go and check up on her. So now apparently there's about a handful of doctors in Ma's room because mama, she's already dressed, she's already taken even a drip out of her arm. She's very adamant ba yena uyahamba and because yena ufuna eya endlini yakhe. And treatment ayifumanayo endlini yakhe is much better than treatment ayifumanayo at the hospital. So the doctor calls me and says, ma'am, Nozi, okay, the one thing I'm seeing is that umama is a little bit confused and probably because of her medication. So we can't let umama go. Because it's still too early. Also, oxygen levels they're up and down. The other day they were good, they were at 90%. But now that she's taken off oxygen, she even took out the oxygen because oxygen it's making her chest even worse. If she leaves and umama is not going to be able to make it. Guys, I bawled myself. I was crying. I'm begging mama, you need to stay. I'm on the house. This year, mama, I'm gonna die in my house. I'm not going to die here. So the doctor is like, no, with your permission, we're gonna have to pin mama down. Hey! I'm imagining mama being pinned down, like arms and legs, everything, just to basically contain her, in her room, But again, I guess it worked. They didn't have to go, to those extreme measures, Apparently, there were a couple of people that kept on talking to her, and eventually she agreed, And the only thing that they did was to sedate her, just to basically calm her down. But it was interesting because this happened like very early in the morning, on Wednesday. By late evening on Wednesday, when I called her, she's like, "Hi, right, son." Hi guys, you are. Guys, let me just say this. When we make it out of this, we're gonna all need counseling. No, guys, we're gonna need like honestly hardcore counseling, okay? So she's like, no, I'm not. I'm right, love. Don't worry yourself. And you mustn't cry. Because now I'm fine. So she stayed an additional 2 days, but by day 7, the doctors gave a good report. That no, she's okay, and she can go home. So she is recovering. I think the only thing now is that obviously her body is still in shock. Because of having to recover from COVID. I'm grateful because psychologically the spirit has done a lot to us. I remember when I was praying for my mom's healing, for my mom to come out of the hospital, and the devil continuously wanted to remind you that like you're not special. There are a couple of people that lost their loved ones due to COVID. So what will make you special, for you not to also lose a loved one, So when I prayed in Tizotandas and Pin and Beno stop, ingati I've already accepted like I know now I have to be one of those people where I lose a loved one, due to COVID. It's very difficult, guys. I remember when I eventually went on social media and I shared that umama was diagnosed with the COVID. There were people that were talking about I'm hoping umama is recovering because now succumbed to COVID. And it will make me feel some kind of way, but I have no right to pray over her healing because it's my turn to feel the pain that others have been feeling. That's why I say, guys, honestly, like when all of this is over, we just need a reset button and actually just pray for our healing psychologically. Just pray for the damage that the COVID is currently doing in our lives, because it's been a very, very difficult period. So one of the reasons why I was doing this video is also for awareness purposes. There are a lot of conspiracies that are being thrown out there. One of them I've already touched on. When you go to hospital, you don't come back. So a lot of people suffer at home. They don't get the right medication because galoku, they don't want to go to hospital with the fear that they are going to die in hospital. They're not going to come back. Guys, please, as much as you can, please seek medical help. It's very important. I feel really bad that possibly we could have gotten like ahead of the situation if we had taken it seriously from the start. Possibly it wouldn't have gotten to a point where umama is admitted to hospital. So I love how some of the doctors often say, even if it's flu, do not assume like it's just flu. Treat it as if you have COVID. You'd rather be like safe than sorry. The second thing that I wanted to say is, can you please get vaccinated? If you're eligible to get a vaccine, a jab, please do so. Particularly for our parents. I know in South Africa it moves by age group. If you are eligible to get a vaccination, please do so. I've already told you that umama delayed her vaccination because she was hearing different rumors about a vaccine. A vaccine is going to kill you. I also remember when I went on social media and I was sharing how umama has agreed to finally get a vaccination. And there were a couple of people that went on that status and talked about different things that were not true. I wish you had not convinced her. And then there was a crazy one, a person that was talking about how a vaccine is a spiritual mark of some sort. Guys, if I don't know something, I'd rather shy away from even talking about it. And I would like us to all adopt the same thing. Possibly if umama had gotten a vaccine quite early, it's not saying mana she's not going to get COVID, but it lessens the burden that it has on the body. So can we just be careful about the type of information that we share pertaining to a vaccine? Actually, it reminds me of a time when the ARVs were being introduced into the market. There was this type of resistance, because people had different theories about what the ARVs do. I'm not disputing the fact that people have had reactions to the vaccination, but guys, like any medication has a reaction. How I have reacted to ARVs is different to how another person has reacted to ARVs. Different people reach out to me on inbox and they share their different side effects of how they react to ARVs. Personally, for me, I haven't had anything. It may differ to another person, and it's okay. There are people that have reacted to vaccination and there are people that have not reacted to vaccination. But for us to continue to resist vaccination based on untrue theories is not okay. It could have been worse with my own mother, and it gives me sleepless nights to think about the worst that could have happened. So if you can prevent it, please do so. And on that note, I wanted to leave you with a video that my cousin sent me of my mom at home recovering well. Until next time, guys, bye.
Nasekufeni andingenise ekhaya lam noba ndigqoka amanikiniki ikhona ingubo emhlophe qha icolekile ndizoyembatha mhla ndiqedile ibanga lam xa ndinesizi nezinyathezi ndibona usuku ndimbonga njalo zondisiza nasekufeni andingenise ekhaya lam noba ndithwele isiphambano sinzima sona ndisindwa la ndizowuthola umqhele wami okukuphila haleluya ndimone yena endimthandayo ndihlale naye umfeli wami uzondisiza nasekufeni andingenise ekhaya lam thumela kunosi